Happy N7Day, guys. Hope you guys are having a great week. So I'm back today with another kind of Mass Effect related video. Now on November the 20th, it will be 10 years since the original Mass Effect game came out on the Xbox 360. So in the run up to the 20th of November, I decided to do a series of Mass Effect related videos, just basically celebrating some of my favorite things and favorite moments in Mass Effect. So this video is going to focus on my favorite Mass Effect moments. Now there are 10 moments that I've chosen for this video. By no means are they in any numerical order or anything like that, and it was so hard to choose only 10 because there are so many moments in the games that I just absolutely love. But these were my 10 favorite moments in Mass Effect. Number 1, Mass Effect 2, the opening sequence. So this was one of my favorite moments because it was just such an amazing moment where it just completely pulled the rug out from under you, and it just started the game in such an incredible way right at the beginning of Mass Effect 2. If you've played the first game, obviously you become connected to your Shepard, to the Normandy, your crew, and right at the beginning of the game that is all torn away from you violently. Shepard is left floating in space, your main character dies, the Normandy's destroyed, and it just started the game with such a huge bang, and it just set the tone for the game, and it just said, all right guys, you are in for a ride and no one is safe. So for that reason, it was just such an amazing moment, and it is one of my favorite moments in the Mass Effect series. Number 2, Mass Effect 1, Shepard becomes a Spectre. So this was one of my favorite moments because it's just such an epic moment when Shepard begins his or her journey as a Spectre, and it's also a moment when the human race finally gets a voice in the galaxy. So prior to this, the human race have been kind of the underdogs, the newcomers to the galaxy, and were kind of persecuted, and it was the first time where Shepard was given a license to do anything effectively and to investigate Charon and the Reapers. And it's just the beginning of the game, and it's such an epic moment. It's such an amazing moment where you see the camera span around Shepard. The music is incredible in this moment, the speech that's given, and it's just one of my favorite moments in the series.
Commander Shepard, step forward. It is the decision of the Council that you be granted all the powers and privileges of the Special Tactics and Reconnaissance branch of the Citadel.
Spectres are not trained, but chosen. Individuals forged in the fire of service and battle. Those whose actions elevate them above the rank and file.
Spectres are an ideal, a symbol, the embodiment of courage, determination, and self-reliance. They are the right hand of the Council, instruments of our will.
Spectres bear a great burden. They are protectors of galactic peace, both our first and last line of defense. The safety of the galaxy is theirs to uphold.
You are the first human Spectre, Commander. This is a great accomplishment for you and your entire species.
I'm honored, Counselor.
Number 3, Mass Effect 2, Lair of the Shadowbroker, that car chase scene. So many of you know, but Lair the Shadowbroker is probably my favorite DLC for the Mass Effect series. I absolutely loved it. In Mass Effect 2, I really missed Liara, having Liara in my crew. She was my main love interest in the first game, so through most of Mass Effect 2, I was really disappointed that we didn't have her in our squad, and Lair the Shadowbroker was just so amazing. I love the whole DLC, but this moment in the car chase scene for me was just so fun because it was different. The gameplay was different. It was like nothing that we'd played before, and it just had these moments of suspense, action, intense sort of car chase, great dialogue and banter between my femshep and Liara, and it was just like a scene out of The Fifth Element, and just sort of reiterated all that kind of sci-fi feel to the series, and I completely loved it, absolutely loved it, and that's why it's one of my favorite moments in the game.
She's got reinforcements! What kind of guns does this thing have?
It's a taxi. It has a fare meter.
Wonderful.
Truck.
I know.
Truck!
Number 4, Mass Effect 2, the Arrival DLC, meeting Harbinger for the first time. So all the way through Mass Effect 2, Harbinger is this kind of really sinister voice that constantly taunts your Shepard. And at the end of the Arrival DLC, we finally get to meet, via hologram of course, we get to meet Harbinger face to face. And Shepard finally gets to have a say and finally gets to sort of stand up for his or herself, and it's just a really epic moment where we see these two huge figures kind of just squaring off, and it's a moment as well where Shepard has to make a harrowing decision to destroy one of the mass relays, which will pretty much create mass genocide for most of the Batarian race, and it's a harrowing decision, but it's also just a really epic moment, and it sets the tone right at the end of Mass Effect 2. It gets us excited for Mass Effect 3, and obviously when we see the Reapers on their way to the Milky Way galaxy.
Know this as you die in vain. Your time will come. Your species will fall. Prepare yourselves for the arrival.
Number 5, Mass Effect 1, The Death of Benezia. Now, this is one of the boss fights that I found incredibly well done, very emotional. I thought the voice actress for Benezia did a fantastic job in sort of showing how torn she was in terms of trying to fight the indoctrination, and it's just really great. And if you bring Liara into your squad, it's also a heart-rending moment where she's sort of begging her mother to fight the indoctrination, to not give in, and witnesses effectively the death of her mother and the death of an extremely powerful and well-respected matriarch, and it's just great. I thought, not only is it voice acted by Diana Troy from Star Trek Next Generation, who I love, but it's just great. It's just a really great emotional, heart-rending moment, and it's just BioWare writing at its finest.
You have to stop me. I can't. His teeth are at my ear. Fingers on my spine. You should. Oh, you should.
Mother! Don't leave! Fight him!
You've always made me proud, Liara.
Mother!
Good night, little wing. I will see you again with the dawn.
Number 6, Mass Effect 3, The Death of Mordin and Curing the Genophage. This for me was one of the moments in Mass Effect 3 that just really got to me, and I was a state, I was in floods of tears, and I absolutely love Mordin. He was one of my favorite characters in Mass Effect 2. I loved his loyalty mission, and I thought it was a great way to bring closure to this character by having him be the one to cure the genophage, to sort of redeem his earlier life. And it was a moment that was just so heartbreaking, but also really optimistic and so full of hope, and the emotions that you feel in that moment, and the music and the cinematography, the acting, the voice acting, it's just a really powerful moment in Mass Effect 3, and it is one of my favorite moments in the series as a whole. Number 7, Mass Effect 3, letting Garrus win. So this is one of my favorite moments as well, because Garrus was my buddy. He was my wingman, basically. And I loved this moment. I loved the camaraderie and the friendship between my Garrus and my femme Shepard. And, I loved the whole competition and the banter between the two of them when they're obviously shooting those glass bottles. And of course I let Garrus win in this moment, and I just really loved this moment. It was just really heartwarming, and it was just a nice little moment between Garrus and my Shepard.
I said a tough one.
Step aside. Do it.
I'm Garrus Vicarian, and this is now my favorite spot on the Citadel.
It's windy up here.
There. It's okay. I know there are other things you're good at.
Number 8, Mass Effect 3, killing Kai Leng. This moment for me was just so enjoyable, and Kai Leng was one of those characters that I really grew to hate him, and obviously after sort of stealing the catalyst and killing Thane, and all these moments, they develop it so well in terms of the hate and the frustration that you feel for this character. And there's just that moment where you have that renegade interrupt, and it's such an epic interrupt, and just that moment when Shepard gets justice for Thane, and it's just really amazing. And I found this kind of fight and the resolution of this fight a lot more enjoyable than I did, say, the Elusive Man. I actually felt bad. I felt bad for the Elusive Man. I felt sorry for him, so I didn't really take pleasure in his death, but I definitely took pleasure in the death of Kai Leng, and that's why it's one of my favorite moments in the series.
For Thane, you son of a bitch!
Number 9, Mass Effect 3, the Citadel DLC, That Party. So I loved the Citadel DLC as a whole. I just thought it was a great send-off to the series, but I particularly really enjoyed the party, and I thought it was really great. I loved having all my previous companions right across the series with me. I loved seeing them in really different environments. I loved seeing them interact with each other and banter with each other and play off of each other. I just absolutely loved it. And one of my favorite moments is where you're all dancing together and they're just taking the mick out of Shepard and his or her inability to dance, and I really loved it. It was such a heartwarming, fantastic moment with your companions, and it was just a great heartwarming send-off to the series, and I found it really touching and really amusing at the same time.
Has she always been like this?
Shepard is saving the galaxy. You have to forgive a few eccentricities.
It's very enthusiastic.
It is impressive.
Hey, that's my girlfriend. Oh, damn it. I almost kept it straight. What is she doing with her arms?
Good to see some things don't change.
Well, I like it, Commander. It's good to see you cut loose now and then.
Thank you for all your loyalty and support.
And number 10, Mass Effect 3, arriving through the Charon relay. So at the end of Mass Effect 3, the moment when you sort of start that last mission and you jump through the Charon relay to take on the Reapers in a epic space battle, that for me was just such an epic moment. I'd been wanting sort of space battles for quite a while in Mass Effect, but it was this culmination of everything that you've done. So all those alliances, everything that you've done across the trilogy, and you see all these species that have been so divided throughout the series, you see them all come together in a moment and fight together, you know, with a common goal of destroying the Reapers. And it's just a really epic, heroic, fantastic moment. The music is great, the way the camera pans around you is brilliant. How big the arsenal is also really cool compared to how tiny the Normandy is in that situation. I would have loved to control the Normandy at that moment, and I was hoping that would be what we could do, but it was still a really epic moment in the game, and that is why it's definitely one of my all-time favorite Mass Effect moments.
This is it, everyone. Be ready on my signal. Fire! On my command, engage the Reaper forces.
Roger that. All fighters on me. Breaking off. Preparing for descent. Commander. Be careful down there.
We'll be fine. Stay focused.
Aye, aye.
So those are my 10 favourite Mass Effect moments across the series. I'd be really interested to hear what moments are your favourite. Please share in the comment section below, what are your 10 favorite moments in Mass Effect and why do you love those moments so much? I do have lots of other ideas for videos planned for the future. I'm actually considering doing some character based videos where I talk about my favorite Garrus moments or my favorite moments with Liara or Rex, you know. So I'm actually considering doing that. If that is something that you would be interested in seeing or in watching, and if you have any ideas for videos that you'd like me to do in the run up to the 20th of November, then absolutely let me know in the comment section below. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great week. Happy N7 Day, everyone. I will catch you again later. Have a great week, take care, and as always, happy gaming. Bye guys.